Hi there, I'm Karen McCarthy, and it's time to Karen-ize. Today's Wednesday, that's when we talk about spiritual health, and we're going to do part 2 of our series on forgiveness, the value and the meaning of forgiveness. So here's a little story. Don't know who the author is. It was called The Winds of Forgiveness. Two friends, Paul and Jeffrey, were walking through the desert. During some point of the journey, they had an argument, and Jeffrey slapped Paul in the face. Paul was hurt, but without saying anything, he stooped down and wrote in the sand, "Today, my best friend slapped me." They kept walking, and finally they got to an oasis, and they decided to bathe in the pool that was there. And Paul got stuck in the mire and started drowning, but Jeffrey saved him. After he recovered, he went over and wrote on a rock, "Today, my best friend saved my life." And Jeffrey was like, "Wait a minute. When I hurt you, you wrote in the sand, but now you wrote on stone. What's with that?" And Paul said, "Well, when someone hurts us, we should write it in sand and let the winds of forgiveness wipe it away. But when someone does something good for us, we need to engrave it in stone so no wind can wipe it away." I love that. It's just a great picture. I like catchy phrases, and the winds of forgiveness really caught my eye. I mean, it creates such a beautiful picture of our pain and I guess just pain being swept away by this warm, compassionate wind, and the resentment and bitterness that pain causes in us swept away too. So probably one of the best, or the most well-known scriptures is Luke 6:3, often called the Golden Rule: "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." But we need to take a look at the context of that verse. It's preceded by the words, "But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. If someone slaps you on one cheek, turn to them the other also. If someone takes your coat, don't withhold your shirt from them." And that doesn't mean we have to give everyone all of our clothes, but it's just kind of an idea. "Give to everyone who asks you, and if anyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back." Hang on just a second. Sorry about that. I think we've all heard like of a family of a murder victim standing up in court and telling the murderer that they forgive them. That act is as much for the healing of the family as it is for the impact it will have on the murderer and any observers. It might not have any impact on that murderer, depending on the state of their heart at that time. The act also exemplifies the words in Luke 3. I remember a friend, a coworker that I had one time, she told me that she had some other coworkers who were just really harassing her all the time, making her life miserable, and she didn't know what to do. And I said, "Well, try this." And I kind of paraphrased Proverbs 25:22. I call it in Karen-ize. And I told her, "Go and heap burning coals of kindness on their heads, and they won't know what to do. They won't know how to handle it." And so she came back a few days later and she says, "Oh my gosh, it worked. I was really nice to them in response, and they stopped hassling me." Now, does that work 100% of the time? No. Again, it depends on the state of their heart. But 9 times out of 10, if you're kind, they're like, they don't know what to do. So I like that. So if there's someone in your life who's caused you pain, take Jesus's words to heart and treat them the way you would like to be treated. Forgive them, heap those burning coals of kindness on their heads, and watch the flames change from deadly to heartwarming. I love that concept. So here's another little picture that I found with some a saying about forgiveness. "Anyone can hold a grudge, but it takes a person with character to forgive. When you forgive, you release yourself from a painful burden. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay." We talked about that last time a little. "And it doesn't mean that person should still be welcome in your life. It just means you've made peace with the pain and are ready to let it go." I've heard other people describe it as you're taking away their right or their ability, or whatever you want to call it, to hurt you. Because when we have that unforgiveness in our heart, it's hurting us. Half the time they don't even know or care. And so it's not hurting them at all. So when we have that forgiveness, we release that burden. Like when I released what I had thought about how my mom treated me and felt about me. When I released that, what a wonderful experience it was, and how our relationship changed from that point on is just incredible. So think about that. And next week, we're going to talk about potatoes and forgiveness. See you later. Have a great one.